The Jougan is a pretty unique dojutsu ever since it was introduced in the Boruto anime back in 2016. And while it really hasn't been shown off in the Boruto manga yet, in the small glimpses that it was shown in the Boruto anime, it has portrayed some pretty insane feats for the likes of Boruto whenever he has activated this dojutsu. And while we haven't seen the full extent of the Jougan, there are some pretty insane abilities that the Jougan has given to Boruto that has pushed Boruto to fight the level of the Otsutsuki, such as seeing negative chakra, seeing chakra pathways just like how the Byakugan is utilized, and seeing portals and other space rifts that have saved Boruto's life and other comrades in battle. It has even given chakra boost to Boruto, allowing Boruto to use more ninjutsu and access more shadow clones. So with that being said, in the small glimpses that we've seen about the Jougan so far, it has given Boruto some pretty insane feats. However, we still don't know the full extent of its power. And currently in the Boruto series, Kawaki has recently got his karma seal back with the use of Ishiki's dojutsu. And right now in the story, Kawaki wants to eliminate Boruto, since his goal right now is to exterminate all of the Otsutsuki, starting with his brother of course. Now with that being said, we are definitely going to get the battle between Boruto versus Kawaki, and right now looking at it on paper, I'm not gonna lie, Kawaki definitely has the edge, and that is because of the dojutsu that he has. Of course, Boruto is very powerful. He does have the karma seal, he is now 100% Otsutsuki, but Kawaki does have the advantage due to the hacks that he has. However, the one thing that will definitely bring Boruto over the top to even the playing field to the point where I definitely do think Boruto could surpass Kawaki and basically everyone else in the story is definitely that Jougan. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the potential abilities that the Jougan can possibly have in the future. And instead of myself coming up with these potential abilities, I actually asked you guys in the Discord server about what abilities the Jougan could potentially have. If you do want to interact with the community and me to talk about Boruto and other anime and just other stuff in general, make sure to join that Discord server, link is in the description. However, when I did ask you guys to give me some potential Jougan abilities, I got a plethora of responses from you guys. So thanks to you guys, I was able to actually make this video. So let's talk about the potential abilities that you guys listed below. I got about 10 good potential abilities that the Jougan could get in the future that I really think could push Boruto over the edge when it comes to his overall power to fight the likes of Kawaki, Damon, Code, Ada, and even push him to the level of Shabai in the future. So starting at number 1, which in my opinion I think Boruto will actually get, is the ability to stop time, or essentially slow down time in general. We know that Momoshiki has this ability with his Byakugan in the few instances that we've seen it in the Boruto manga. For example, after Boruto killed Momo in the Chunin exams arc, Momoshiki did stop time. And at the end of Boruto chapter 63, after Boruto was fighting Code in his true essence form, Boruto did suffer a heart attack where Momoshiki did stop time there as well. However, the one thing I do want to say is that when Momoshiki does stop time, it's not on a physical level but on a spiritual level, as whenever he does stop time, nobody on the battlefield can really move, as the only person that can really move when time does stop is Momoshiki. However, he isn't present in front of everybody. The only person who can really see Momoshiki move and understand what's going on is Boruto, because Momoshiki doesn't really physically exist. He can only come out physically whenever he does access Boruto's body. So whenever Momoshiki does stop time, the only person who can actually move in this spiritual plane is Momoshiki himself. We've seen this multiple times, for example when Momo was killed by Boruto, and right after Boruto suffered a heart attack where Momo took over Boruto's body to fight Code. We do understand that Momoshiki is a menace to society where he will do anything to take over Boruto's body to wreak havoc. And whenever he does stop time, it's on a spiritual level. Nobody can really understand or comprehend what's going on outside of Boruto. However, when it comes to the Jougan, if Boruto does get this ability, whenever he does have the ability to slow down or stop time, I think everybody else will be able to understand that Boruto has been slowing down time. I think this will be extremely useful in battle, as when it comes to fighting someone like Kawaki, who has those rods and cubes and has the ability to shrink, this will allow Boruto to give him that speed boost. And as we know, it's kind of hard to dodge those rods when it comes to fighting Kawaki unless you have the speed or can see it coming beforehand. Those rods will definitely pin you down and kill you and essentially one-shot you. So giving the Jougan the ability to slow down or stop time in general will allow to counter that ability and other crazy abilities such as Code's claw marks and Damon's reflection ability. The second ability that I've seen people talk about, which I definitely do think is going to happen, is the Jougan having the ability to create other dimension. We know that the Jougan has the ability to access space rifts and see other portals coming from other people such as the Otsutsuki. During the battle against Urashiki in the One Tails Retrieval arc in the Boruto anime, Boruto was able to see Urashiki come from other portals in space-time dimensions and essentially react whenever Urashiki was trying to harm and damage Boruto and Shinki, allowing Boruto to access other dimensions that essentially no one else can access. I think this would be pretty cool, as we know other dojutsus have this ability as well, such as the Rinnegan in Ishiki's dojutsu. We know that Sasuke, when he had his Rinnegan, had the ability to access other space-time dimensions. Same thing applies with Ishiki's dojutsu, with the fact that he does have the Daikukoden dimension, where he can store non-animate objects in a dimension where time itself does not exist, and with the fact that Kawaki has sealed Naruto and Hinata away into a unknown dimension, it shows you that other characters have their own pocket dimensions that they can access. I'd imagine that Boruto has this ability as well. Boruto and Kawaki have their own karma seal. They can access these other dimensions as well. And with the fact that Kawaki can access more dimensions using his own dojutsu, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Boruto has his own dimension that he can only access using the Jougan. Kawaki is hunting down Boruto. If Boruto gets cut into a corner where he has to fight Kawaki and also Ada and Damon, the best way for him to escape is to access his own dimension using the Jougan, where nobody else can access these dimensions. I think it would be pretty cool for Boruto to access other places, such as the moon for example. We know that Toneri in the Boruto anime has prophesied that the Jougan is going to be the one thing that is going to save everybody, and that Boruto is the key to saving the future, as we know that there is a big ginormous threat coming, such as Kawaki, Code, Ada and Damon, and potentially more Otsutsuki. With the fact that the Jougan is going to be essentially the thing that is going to save everybody from these big bad threats, imagine if Boruto has the ability to teleport to the moon where he could find Toneri there. As we know in the Boruto anime, Toneri was sealed away by Urashiki for 1,000 years, and I feel like the only person who could save Toneri would be Boruto. That could set up many storylines and dive deep into many plot lines, especially when it comes to the Jougan. Toneri could potentially train him, and that could set up many possibilities when it comes to the Jougan and for the rest of the storyline, especially when it comes to battling Kawaki. And the next idea that I've seen is that the Jougan could be a Dojutsu Limiter. Essentially, it prevents other users from spamming their dojutsu. Now that Kawaki has access to Ishiki's dojutsu, Ada having her own dojutsu with the Senringan, Damon possibly having his own dojutsu with the Reflector ability, some of the strongest characters in the entire series essentially rely on their dojutsu, which is one of the reasons why they're so powerful. Imagine if Boruto fights Kawaki and during the battle, Boruto unlocks his Jougan where he can actually limit Kawaki's dojutsu. Imagine how broken that would be, and with the Jougan, I'd imagine that this is going to be the dojutsu which counters Ishiki's dojutsu. I think this is the one eye that can potentially limit Kawaki's dojutsu and other eyes that can be shown in the future. This can stop users from spamming their dojutsu and drain its usage, essentially keeping all other dojutsu in check. I'd imagine that once Boruto has access to his Jougan, he would have to train it over time, as we could see potential abilities of something like this. Having the ability to limit other people's dojutsus could explain why Kawaki doesn't shrink Boruto's sword in the flash forward scene in the time skip. I mean, Kawaki can shrink any non-animate objects, and while Boruto was able to access this dojutsu thanks to his parents' genetic traits passed down from Hinata, Naruto, and the Otsutsuki genetics that was given to him, especially from Momoshiki, now that he is 100% Otsutsuki, what if the Jougan can copy any other dojutsu, like the Sharingan, Byakugan, and Rinnegan? I mean, the Jougan can use the abilities of the Byakugan, such as seeing the chakra pathways of other users and seeing the critical chakra points to hit to essentially nullify any other user in battle. The Jougan does have the abilities of the Byakugan as well. Not only that, it does have foresight and the ability to read other people's abilities, such as the Sharingan for example. As we saw in the fight against Momoshiki, at least in the Boruto anime, Boruto was able to dodge and foresee Momoshiki's attacks thanks to the use of the Jougan. And not only that, space-time ninjutsu, which is something that Rinnegan has the ability of, I wouldn't be surprised if the Jougan is the ultimate dojutsu, where it has the abilities of other inferior dojutsus essentially, such as the Sharingan, Byakugan, and the Rinnegan. I mean, it does share those abilities of said dojutsu, and potentially this dojutsu could come from the Otsutsuki god, or even Shibai Otsutsuki. I'd imagine that more Otsutsuki are coming into the storyline, where if they do see Boruto's Jougan, they could be shook. And since the Jougan is called the Pure Eye, with Momoshiki's prophecy of him saying that those blue eyes will take everything away from you, and with Toneri saying that the Jougan will be the one who will save everyone from the destruction of the world. What if the Jougan has the ability to destroy and create objects? What if Boruto has the ability to create anything and destroy things as well? I don't imagine that if he gets this ability, he'll be able to create and destroy anything, but possibly smaller objects. So with the fact that Kawaki could potentially have wish granting abilities, an ability that can be parallel or equivalent to that power would be the ability to destroy and create anything at will. Imagine the weapons and power-ups that Boruto could use in battle, especially if he could use a Dojutsu Limiter where he could limit other people's dojutsus in battle, specifically when it comes to fighting Kawaki. The next ability that I've seen some of you guys mention is the ability to tap into the Sprit Realm. We've seen this multiple times in Naruto Shippuden. For example, once Obito died and gave the dual Mangekyou Sharingan to Kakashi, they were in a spirit type realm. Same thing goes when Naruto almost lost his body to the Nine Tails during the fight against Pain, where Minato stopped him and resealed the Nine Tails back into his body. We essentially saw alive characters such as Naruto and Kakashi talk to characters from the dead such as Minato and Obito. We saw this in the War Arc as well, so it's possible that if Boruto gets access to the Jougan, he may have the possibility to tap into the spirit realm and interact with the dead characters such as Sasuke, for example. Many people have been theorizing that Sasuke will die very soon. If Sasuke does indeed die, Boruto may be able to interact with him even if Sasuke has died in the story. Another ability that I've seen you guys state is the ability to see the future. We know that Momoshiki has this ability using his Byakugan, where Boruto actually used this ability back in Boruto chapter 75, where he subconsciously activated Momoshiki's Byakugan, where he saw a glimpse of the future, where he saw Mitsuki activate his Sage Mode and Kawaki powered up in his Karma form. I think Boruto having access to this ability will be so broken, as essentially you become untouchable. And I mean, when it comes to fighting someone like Kawaki, I think having the ability to see a couple seconds into the future will allow Boruto to change his own fate. And those are the abilities that I really think that will really be a game changer when it comes to fighting Kawaki. I mean, that is the destined battle, and that is the person who he is going to fight in the end, and there's going to be potentially more enemies that he and Kawaki will fight, such as other Osasukis, potentially Shibai or another Osazuki god, for example. And of course, I know this is going to sound kind of funny, but the most ironic thing about having the Jougan, the one ability that Boruto will get that, I mean, it's going to be pretty obvious, will be the ability for him to actually see. In the first page of the flash forward scene, we do see that Boruto is looking through one eye. The other eye, which has the scar in the Jougan, his eye is actually closed. And I presume that whoever does give him that scar, whether it's from Kawaki, Code, Sasuke, or even from Boruto himself, Boruto will lose his regular right eye to see. And I think that if Boruto has access to the Jougan, it will allow Boruto to see through that eye. And finally, the last ability that the Jougan can potentially have, which I think is the strongest and most powerful ability that will essentially put Boruto over everybody, which includes Kawaki, Damon, Code, Ada, Shibai, and any Osazuki that will come in the future, that will push Boruto above everybody in terms of power, that will essentially make him solo the entire verse, is the fact that the Jougan will have the ability to make meth. Shout out Walter White, man. But anyways, let me know how you guys feel about this video in the comment section below. What other abilities do you think that the Jougan could potentially have for this storyline, as I think this is the eye that will push Boruto over the edge when it comes to fighting Kawaki and future Osazuki. So let me know how you guys feel about this video in the comment section below. If there are any other abilities that I didn't mention that you want to talk about, definitely let me know in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.